Good morning, Divinely K. How are you all doing? My name is Keturah, your host with the most. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my new subscribers. Welcome. My name is Keturah with a K, because some people spell their names with a C. But anyway, that's beside the point. So, welcome to Divinely K. If you like what you see on this channel, it's just about life. Just in general, whatever I feel like putting up is about life, but mainly talks about health. And I have multiple sclerosis, so if you hear anything about health, it's going to be generated towards that. So, with that said, if you like anything that you see on the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting that bell for notifications and come join the team. So I consider everybody family and teams and village, my village. So if you hear those parables, that's what it is. So today, like I said, I decided to do like a get ready for work with me kind of thing today. Because first of all, I'm having hot flashes. I'm 42 years old. God willing, I'll be 43. And I'm going through having a little bit of premenopause symptoms. So please, if y'all see extra, stuff, disregard. Anyways, I'm trying to look for my to do my brows. So if you see me, I'm over here looking on this side. So whatever. I don't have the time. But anyway, so I decided to talk. If you see me with my non-dominant hand, with my left hand, it's because, like I said, I have multiple sclerosis, and this hand I don't have too much function really in my dominant hand, which is my right hand. But if you see me switch, it's because apparently my body must be feeling a little better. Whatever. I decided to have a little chit chat with y'all, catch up. Just catch up on life. So, posted a video about my kitchen remodel. So that's being done. Just going through the motions, feeling like not myself. And I think it's because I'm in a season of just contentment, where I'm just content about like my life in general. I'm in a different season where it's like I never was an introvert, but it's weird because I turned 40 at the height of the pandemic. But before then, I was going through a stage of, I don't want to go nowhere. I just want to be comfortable in my elements, It's just I just don't, I don't know. I'm just in this feeling of just contentment. I'm just in this spirit of feeling less than, like I should be doing more than what I am doing. Don't get me wrong, I am blessed with the life that I have right now. I'm married, been married for coming up 13 years. Coming up on 13 years this year. We've been together for 19 years. I don't know. I just go through these seasons of change where I feel like I should be doing more than what meets the eye, you know. And it's like someone asked me, do I feel like I'm competing with the young crowd? And I'm like, honey, I don't compete with nobody. I don't feel like I need to compete. Um, because we're all in this race called life together. I don't feel like I need to have any more than my sister or brother that's down the street. My allergies are killing me. So if I sound nasally, that's what it is. I gotta go down. I have to go and take an allergy pill when I go downstairs for my breakfast. But yeah, I'm not your average person that does everything by the book or I have to do what Susie Q down the street is doing, because we're all made different. God made us all different in the image of His eyes. So I don't want to be like Susie Q down the street that's driving the latest model Jaguar, and I'm driving a Pinto, if that's what I was driving, but I'm not driving that. But a sight, I feel, ow, that's what I get. This primer, oh, is a fraction of the milk primer. And that's something I'm also looking into. Different avenues as to, ouch, save for my family. But anyways, yeah, I'm in a season of just rest and contentment. And I think that's okay. I don't find myself wanting to do what everybody else is doing. It's 5:30 in the morning. It means 5:30 in the morning. That means, girl, you better step it up, because we got to get moving. But I need to blend that out more. Like I said, I don't do makeup like everybody else. I'm not. As long as I look good, I feel good. That's all that matters. That's another thing. Feeling like I have to be like the Joneses and feeling enough where I feel enough. You know, I feel like I am enough, but some days I don't feel like I'm doing enough. I feel like I said, I'm doing just the bare minimum. Really, Keturah? Wake up. Like I said, it's 5:30. And I actually was up earlier because my husband, he left. He left a little early. I need to get my, speaking of my husband, I need to get my ring resized. Yeah, feeling enough. There's days I feel like I'm not doing enough, and there's days I feel like I am doing enough. I think, like I said, I'm in a season of change. My circle of friends have changed. And I mean, the people that, you know what, no. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what I have learned in the last 20 years, or should I say 23 years. Brother and sisters, bruh and sis, let me tell you something. Would you, if you are in your 20s and you watching this now, I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry to say this, but when you turn 40, claim that you will. When you turn 40, the same people that your same people that you grew up with might not be in your life, sis. And that's okay. Because you change, they change, and everything. That's one thing that I learned in my 20s. People change like the weather, honey. And that includes, yourself. I no longer have time to feel like I need to sit up there and talk to, I have to be butt buddies with this many people and that many people to feel like I'm important. No. But when I was in my 20s, I wanted to be everybody's friend. I wanted to be like everybody. I wanted to be like everybody else. Have the hottest guy. Have the hottest rise or whatever. That stuff don't matter when you in your 40s. Child, please. Let me tell you something. Having a sustainable car, if that's what you want, that's all enough. Your mindset changes. My mindset changed drastically once I turned 40. Money, looking at money. If you can tell, the way of the world has changed. When I was in my 20s, we had the internet, even the internet. I had dial up, honey. That's how old I am. And I feel like I look darn good. But I had dial up with the daggone that high pitched voice. Yeah, I had all that. We had MySpace. MySpace was the Tinder or whatever it's called nowadays. Meeting people online was very taboo. It was not your norm. Although I met my husband online. So we are one of those successful marriages, you know. Something I wanted to do. Oh, I don't have leftover lotion. I have on some eczema lotion. So I had a little bit of a breakout this morning, or started this after last night. Yeah, that's what, like, money changed. My priorities changed. Like, when I was in my 20s, I no longer, like I said, I no longer feel like I need to compete with Susie Q down the street. She need to be competing with you. That part. Let her be your, compete with you. And why in the heck do I look like I look like Raggedy Ann with all of this blush on? There's one thing about this Milani blush, this cream blush. This is very pigment. Very. But it's okay. Because once I put my setting powder, it will calm it down. So that's why I'm not worried about it. And why did I not set my eyes? Lord, this is what happens when I talk. I think I want a little bit of a brighter under eye today. This Patrick Star setting powder that I got a couple of years ago, I still use it. It's like the best for me. I don't like the Lloyd Mercier. For some odd reason, I don't really. It's not that I don't care for it. It just don't work for my skin. That works. So, like I said, you move different. Let me just say that. You move different. It's like when you figure out who you want to be in life and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not one of those girls that's like, oh, I gotta hurry up and get this bag, Charlie. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't need to hurry up and get nothing. I'm about my coins. About retirement, honey. I'm at that retirement age. Not technically retirement, but that's where my mindset is. So I said had I would have learned this stuff when I was in my 20s, my retirement would have been set. If I would have went into the military like I was supposed to. That's another thing I learned in my 20s. Don't let a Negro, female or male, whatever, float your boo-boo. Don't let nobody tell you what you're not supposed to do. Don't let them stop your dreams. I did. In a way, I'm upset about it. In a way, I'm not. Because the reason why I said I'm not upset is because I met my husband. And I don't think I would have met my husband if I was in the military. I probably would have been still with that fool that I was dating back then. Again, you're probably like, why is she doing this stuff? Because, like I said, I'm not everybody else. I don't have the same I just move different. I should say that. I move the way Keturah wants to move. And my thing is this, if you don't like it, and that's another thing you will adapt to. If they're not moving the way you need to move, that you're moving to, then they ain't for you, sis. Set boundaries. If I would have knew what, if I would have knew about setting boundaries back then, yeah, that would have changed too. Set boundaries, and that's what anybody in your life. I said what I said. Um, yeah, I've learned to set boundaries. Setting boundaries, yeah, you might learn about, oh, you gotta do that now. You're young, you're in your 20s. I'm telling you, that's it's right here in my face, Lord Jesus. Um, I'm putting on some MAC eyeshadow today. Normally I'll put on bronze, but today I'm feeling a little Mackie. A little matte. A little throwbackish. Um, don't get stuck on trends. That's what I learned also. It's not to get stuck on trends. And kind of, I wasn't, again, not the trends. I'm not a trend person. I don't go with the trend of what Lakeisha and Raheem doing down the street. Love them, but that's not how I roll. That's not, I, I tried that, tried to be like everybody, try to fit in. But there's one thing that I've learned, and there's so many things that people has told me. Keturah, you're not like everybody else. Again, God made you different. Oh, we making good time. It's something every time I put this color shirt on, I want to be extra with my makeup. Just a little extra. It's a little extra. Um, if your friend from, like, okay, like I cherish I have a best friend. She's more like my sister than anything. And that's a 40 plus year friendship. That's why I said she's more my sister. Her kids are my nieces, and my niece, my nephew. She'll kill me if I would have said plural. As far as nieces, but she just had her son. I think he's 6 months now. My pumpkin, and that's my road dog. She was my bridesmaids in my wedding, and you know, kids are like my fam. Like I said, I have few friends that I can say I that I can actually say I rely on. Especially, Jesus, girl. Sorry, that eye makeup, girl, making me want to put on some lashes today. Which I doubt it, but it's making me. If I have time, I probably will. Because I haven't put on lashes in a few months. If you have that one friend, that you can sit up there, call at 4 o'clock in the morning, if they're not in a state, but that you can call at 4 o'clock in the morning, you got 4 flat tires and need a jump, and she or he is there, that's not your friend, that's your family. That's your village. When my father died, I didn't immediately call her because reason why is because number one, we're on a different time frame, and I can talk about it now. So back in 2020, when COVID first came, it was in April. I say I can talk about it now because I'm able to talk about it without crying. I got a knock on my door. Let me give y'all back a statement. I didn't know where my dad was. I didn't know if my dad was dead or alive at this point. The last time I actually physically talked to my father was maybe 2011, right after I got married. And did I just do that? And he was sick then as well. But I found out he was fast forward to COVID. So, mind you, I have not talked to my father since 2011. Well, one day, I get a knock on my front door. Private detective. You probably wonder how in the heck that they found your house. Let me tell y'all something. You can Google your name, and your whole life is on Google, which I hate. That's why I do not tell my last name. You might know my first name, but you will not know my last name. You don't know if I'm Brown, if I'm a this, if I'm a Wilson, Johnson, or whatever. You don't know because that's none of your business. And my job, I don't say my job's name because, again, that is confidentiality. It's another thing, sis and brothers. Watch what you put on the internet, regardless of what it is, because it can come back to bite you in your derriere. Especially if you're looking for a job. Anyways, back to dad. Get a knock on the front door. Private detective. They said, "Are you so-and-so?" And I'm like, "Yeah." First thing I'm like, "Oh my God, my mom." But then I had to realize I'm on the phone with my mother. So, yeah, I know it's not my mom. Oh my God, it's my husband. No, it's not my husband because he's in the house with me. Oh my God, it's this person, but it's not. And they said, "Are you the daughter of blah, blah, blah?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And they said, "Well, we need you to make to call this number. He is currently in the hospital, and they don't know if he's going to live or die, and we need for you to make the choice to take him off the ventilator." What? You heard what I said. You haven't talked to a person. You didn't know where he was. And all of a sudden, you have to make a life decision for that person. Yeah. Okay. Imagine that. Imagine that. So I'm like, wait a minute, what? So he gets me the number to where he was at. And I talked to the head nurse in charge. I love that nurse. She was the sweetest and the most patient person that I had ever ran across. And for a situation like that. And she told me what was going on. And she said, sweetie, I need you to make a decision. And then I said, how do I make a decision for a man that I barely know? And she was like, huh? And I had to tell her. She was like, okay, this is gonna be this is not good. Oh, the lip liner I'm using is Chestnut. That's my go-to. And I basically was like, how do you make a decision for a family member that you don't know anything about? This is important. This is why you need to know your family. And she was like, well, I'm going to give you 24 hours. Because I still had to call his family, my aunts and uncles. There's a reason why I don't like this. This look like I don't. I don't like this one. So I'm gonna put on 2 different ones. Okay, that looks a little better. Oh, one thing I forgot. So yeah, back to what I was saying. So yeah, she didn't she gave me 24 hours. They were the worst 24 hours of my life. I had to call his family and tell them that, hey, we found him. However, I have X, Y, and Z to make these decisions. What do I do? They couldn't tell me. They basically was like, it's your decision because you are his biological daughter. And yeah. You are his biological child. So you have to make that decision. We can't make it for you. Can't nobody make it for you. So I had 24 hours and I called a few friends. One of my friends, and she ghosted me. She said, well, I can't talk with you. I'm calling her crying. Mind you, I'm calling her crying. And she said, I can't talk to you right now. She had something was going on. Now mind you, everybody has their own life. And I'm gonna get to that too. I might have to make this a part 2. So she said she couldn't talk to me. So with that said, the only other person at that moment that I can talk to that I needed help. Not just but I needed prayer. So the next person I could talk to, because I couldn't call my bestie down in another state because she's at work, and the last thing I want is for her to be crying at work. That's why I didn't call my best friend. So I called my good friend, and if she watched this video, she knows who she is. And she said, Keturah, I said, are you at work? And she said, yeah, but what's wrong? She said, I don't, she said, I'm at work. What's wrong? I can put this to the side. She said, why are you crying? What's going on? So I told her what was going on. She said, okay, we pray. So she literally dropped what she was doing. Woo, this stuff smells so good. It's my hairspray from my hairstylist. She makes her own hair spray. So yeah. So she stopped what she doing. She prayed and she was like, Keturah, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna pray and you're gonna ask God to give you, the best option to make the decision. Just like that, I'm sweating. Child. And she said, from that, if you need me, I'm here. So after that, family helped a little bit, His Charlotte Tilbury, everything. And just like that, it's 6 o'clock and it's time for us to start working. But anyway, yeah. So the friend, she told me what to do, and I did it. But it was 24 hours later. I talked to my cousin, and my cousin was like, I talked to my cousin. My cousin I had to make a phone call, so that 24 hours came. And I said, Lord, just guide me to wherever you want me to go, because I didn't know. How would you feel if you got to make a life decision for a person that you barely knew? Think about that. Think about that. Where's my stuff? Okay. For a person that you barely knew, you have to make a life-altering decision that you have not really spent time with, you haven't talked to, you haven't did anything. How would you react if you have to make that decision? So I asked God to really guide me, because I was in a really bad spiritual space. If y'all hear that, that's my computer turning on, because it's time to get going. So, make that decision. My cousin was on the phone with me, and it was the hardest day of my life. So, with that said, I hate to leave y'all on a cliffhanger, but I'm gonna come back to that story. So, we might have to do it part 2 of this tomorrow, because there's more to the story. So, yeah, we're gonna do a get ready with me tomorrow as well. Story time.